Okay, good morning, beautiful people. Welcome. Um, Last week when we did a presentation, somehow something wasn't working with things moving, and I think we have that fixed. I'm hoping that we do. So I wanted to give you the presentation again. I made some changes and just kind of continue to research what I call spiritual hacks, things that we can do in the moment to help us to remember to shift, remember this is an illusion, to recognize when we're having an ego bruise or an ego bust. These are things where our ego just, kind of bursts on the scene and says, hello, I'm here and I'm in charge. And it's like, oh, we're not really, because we're in a process here. It's a very interesting and unique and very doable process for us. So, first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to start with meditation. Why not? Okay, so we're going to go into spiral time and see if we can take in some of what's going to be shared here in in our spiral time, in our timelessness. Okay, so I'm going to invite you all just to take a moment and find your most beautiful posture. Find your breath. And find your I am contribution to our field today. I am love. I am peace. I am freedom. I am one. And moment by moment, begin to drop into your I am. Just being really present with your breath. Embodied presence. And then right away, the pulse of love, 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 love starts to come through. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. And allow that frequency to lift you up into our spiral, our 5D dimensional spiral. And allow yourself to feel a little lighter in your seat. With a nod to gravity as one of the interesting aspects of our illusion here. Just give a nod to it and say, yeah, I know you're there, but I'm going to now enlighten and become lighter. So just see if you can feel and sense and be a little lighter in your seat. Embrace the possibility of levitation here. And as you all begin to do that one by one, the spiral, the crystalline spiral, begins to make itself known. Nodding yes to this lightening up. And then nodding yes to our 5D consciousness, our quantum consciousness. Just say, let's nod yes. And nod yes today to opening to all the all the possibility and probability of expression when we go 5D. There you go. There, that's better. So we're nodding yes to the possibility and probability of manifestation. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're getting everybody on board now. And shifting into unity consciousness here. I am one. Okay. Now allow this crystalline spiral frequency just to coincide with what you are feeling, experiencing as embodiment right here. Let them coexist as neither either or it's simultaneous. There you go. Good. And then choose a moment to open your eyes. But as you do, as you open your eyes, affirm that you are in this continuation of moments here, the observer, the observer. And that what shall appear before you is in part a co-creation by you, agreement by you. Okay, and then choose a moment to open your eyes. We shall begin. We shall begin. Okay, big question. Big question. How are we going to notice that this is an illusion in the moments that follow? How are we going to navigate through time, space, or space-time illusion and master 560 presence and embody on this planet at the same time, the same moment, the same expression? Well, this is a very deep question. And we're not going to get in today, it's for next time, but this is something to do with parallel worlds and parallel universes, possibility and probability. It's all comes down to gorgeous physics, and I just love it because it's giving us the keys, to open up the door, open up the gate into this shift modality that we're talking about here. So we're gonna try to understand a little bit more about space-time to begin to bust its convincing illusion. I'm convinced most of the time, except when I apply a spiritual hack. Okay. Question is how to transcend space-time illusion to be present as 5D. So it's not just that we want to be in 5D, we want to be present as 5D. Now, I found this very interesting space photo, and it's got a spiral and it's got 3D coordinates. So, what this is telling us is that they're coexisting at the same moment. And this is kind of a delight to know because it means we don't have to drop body to go 5D. People have done it, they've had near-death experiences and they've come back, and it's all very interesting. But we don't have to do it because they're coexisting at the same moment. Now, so this is totally trippy. So there is no space without ascribing time to it. So anything that you see continues to be here, there, everywhere in time. And they work very closely together. And there's some very interesting experiments that have been done to try to figure this out. And it has to do with particles and waveforms. And, basically things kind of travel around as waveforms, but then when they kind of land to the observer, they're a particle. How is that? It's just so intriguing. So, one little interesting thing that I play with once in a while is to observe the things in space as dots of time impulses. So you could just kind of pick a dot, do it right now, pick a dot and just observe it and go there, 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 and allow there to be a little space in between as you get the experience or the I want to say the correct observation of the what is. And imagine that those impulses are coming up to you, coming to you, rather than you going towards them. All of this is coming to you, to you, to you, as they're being coming here. So let's just take a moment and just have a moment. And here we are, still connected to our spiral, our quantum crystalline spiral. And then just, you can even take your hands and just look at anything around you, or you can look at the view. And the view is still like pixels on your screen. They're particles of time impulses that are coming to you. And doing so, you'll actually kind of slow down the illusion of time passing. And if you keep doing it, time will stop for a moment. It just stops here, just for a moment. And whenever that happens, I hear the big energy shift in the room. And we got that energy shift. So, we know this, that this table that I'm looking at is 99% space. Well, that's all very interesting, but we could go, yeah, but it's a network of these atoms and they're all congealed together and they're making this very convincing table. I got to tell you, it's very convincing. But if you can just see that even those atoms, those particles are waveforms and they're not anything until I observe them. So this gives you a little bit of power, like all this is happening because I am the observer of it all. And then you have to go, yeah, but there is no time. That's right, there is no time. So time, and this is what I have to remind myself, it's my awareness filtered through ego mind to give me this density experience. And why the heck are we doing this? That's kind of what we came here for. Well, let's go have a density experience. That could be interesting. Why we were all called here is beyond me. I think some were intrigued and got pulled in. Maybe some beings in your soul pod said, you got to go check this out. This is very trippy. Or we got called to something already, the experiment already happening, this density experiment. But here we are. And we're interested in the project. I think it's already happened in a way, and we are experiencing it through time. So, and here we are signed up to have this experience of remembering our illumined self, which can only perceive and will only perceive now. So when you say that word now, pause and let the illumined self have a moment to peek through. Okay, and so then you go, well, yeah, but now time has passed. Well, that's ego mind going, I have to stay on time because things happen if I don't. That's fine. You say fine. But 5D self observes the moment as timelessness. And in that timelessness, knows already what's going to happen. And therefore, in order to complete, we'll say the agreement of your DAY, you're going to sense where to go as the observer. So just take a moment now and consider this whole experience right here, right now is timeless and expansive. Feel the pulse. There's a pulse to it, an eternal pulse. And now, as the observer, let's even try observing the ego mind. With compassion and grace. Very good. So you're going to have moments where you can feel hungry or grumpy or irritated, or someone didn't call you. And more and more, you're going to start to notice these. And there's this moment where you can go, you can even say the word now or 5D, presence, and what you want to do in that moment, because this is a precious moment, is you want to pause and observe the ego self. We never condemn or judge the ego self. We observe it, almost with a little nod of presence, seeing, knowing, presence, seeing, knowing, presence, seeing, knowing. And what happens is, again, there's this cessation of time into a moment. And again, your ego mind is recording things from the past that are still kind of vibrating, and anticipation of the future. There's a little bit different vibration, and the observer can go in either direction, honoring the illusion of time and space, but doing it with the awakened I am. And then there is a resolution there. There's a vibration that moves through it. And I have the sense that when I do this, when I do this, I just saw an image come up from a long time ago. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. And I just observed it. I just observed it with love. And then there was kind of a flowing outward, like the river began to move timelessly. Okay, so and so this kind of takes us back to, every moment, we all have a choice, be a reactor to it or be an observer of what is. Be an observer. And, I don't expect any of us to do this 24/7. It's just when can we grab moments to be an observer of what is? And it could be a perfectly benign moment. It could just be a moment. Something reminds us, the trill of a bird. Oh, I could just be in this moment. And it's almost that you're feeling you in a way you're replacing those pulses of time, anchoring into the illusion with moment, and things begin to thin out. So your awakened 5D self is here, right now. Your awakened 5, I know it is. I know it is. It's right here, right now. As I feel you guys. So as you thin out the illusion, more of it comes through. Thin it out. And you thin it out by remembering to observe. Hope this is making some sense to you. Now, here's another thing I do. So, I'm somewhere and I've just, who knows, let's say I've just done the dishes and, picked up some things and I have a million choices of what's next. But you know what I do? I just stop and I go, okay, now what? And I empty my mind and I let 5D self come through, tell me, how about this? How about that? It's really, really interesting. I think a lot of us have gone through this section of time for the last 2 or 3 months. A lot of challenges, a lot of challenges. And from time to time, I would get my one-liners that come through, you know, sorry, but blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. And I finally went, now, who is this, please? It's like, oh, it's my 5D self. My already awakened self is coming through to go, listen, I see the whole thing here. Here's probably the best thing to do. You want to do something, just go do this. And, do all this. And then because then in these moments, you're going to want to be available to be present for that. So this is really easy. This is a really good hack. It's going in my book. I've been really using it. It's like pause. Okay, now what? And if I'm not getting anything, or there's still a lot going on, like I was even having, some thoughts twirl around. I think it was today. I just say sono. Sono. It's like, okay, well, that was quick. So you've got this other really cool thing where if you're still kind of a little entangled, you ask Sono to come in and Sono might just part the curtains for a moment for you. Okay. And see if you can get 10 moments in a day. Not that we're trying to, quantify it, but just as an intention. Like, I'm gonna do this. Because when you do that, your 5D self comes through and it gets here in, in this density realm. And it makes a difference for you, and it makes a difference for the vibration of your place, and it makes a difference for the world. un poquito, por favor, pero más es más. Okay? So your 5D self sees beyond time and it will offer the proper guidance. And it will maybe even come through with those one-liners, explain why such and such just happened. And then sometimes it gives you a new way of looking at the, like I got a new thing about the ego today. I'm going to write about it today. Yeah. Um, so when we do this, it does require a moment of surrender. Surrender is such a big word, you know. I don't know about you, I was taught, Catholic school, etc. Be an achiever, get that A, go be a leader, go be in sports. Just there was a push, 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 which it wasn't bad. There was no cruelty to it, but there really wasn't much in the way of surrender unless someone, made fun of you on the playground or something like that. But surrender is just this way of saying, okay, I don't know everything as an ego, but, and, now what? And the 5D self, oh, thank golly, you're listening for a moment. And sometimes it's simple as, don't forget to take out the trash. Okay, so how's all this work? Well, number one, as a 5D observer, this is really, really cool. You are vast. You're a vibrational waveform. You are a vibrational waveform fast, and you exist in that format beyond space-time. You're vast. You're timeless. We say this, but I want you to look at this picture and go, wow. And even what we think of as vast is space-time. So you're even beyond that. It's just like what my dad said. He came through, a channel, and he goes, you can go anywhere, but go high. Go as high as you can dimensionally. That's my dad, you know? Yeah, I have some jokes about that. But here he is. He made it through. Pew. Okay. Even better, number two, as this fast waveform, you're greater. This is trippy. You're greater than what is known. You can easily observe the known and even the unknown. And who knows if at some point we can have an experience of the unknowable. But get that. You are greater. Your consciousness is greater than what is known. So, as this waveform of consciousness, we talked about this a little bit last time, you are a knower and you are a seer. And you are greater than what is known or seen. So, you have a great capacity to get your own wisdom. And sometimes it takes that pause, that now what? Or if you're thinking about maybe even the future, I also like to say, I wonder what? I wonder what's the best way to go here. And then I pause and I see if something filters through from the being of self that is the vast knower and the vast seer. And fortunately for me, I've had these 45 years of having to practice that for other people. And so that causeway is open. And sometimes, and more now, things just come through. I love the one-liners. Just go one-liners, and I look at it and I'm like, hmm. And sometimes it makes sense for them, and sometimes it makes sense for both of us. But even the one-liners that come through have greatly guided me, especially, you know, during 2025. So once you realize that you are a knower and you are a seer, and what you are is vast, you get to realize yourself as 5D quantum mind self. So say that to yourself right now. As 5D, I am a quantum mind self. I possess quantum mind. I am a knower. I am a seer. I want you to try those on right now, just for a few moments here. I am a knower and I am a seer. And if things come up that say, well, you have to keep saying it and allow the ego mind to spit out all the reasons why this is not so. And you just observe it like, oh, that's interesting, ego mind. Good job. All right, let it go. And then come back to, now I really get it today. I am a vast being who's a knower and a seer. So knower is kind of like what information comes in as guidance. And seer is when you kind of can be so everywhere or where the energy is that you grok the expression of something or hmm, the reason for being, the reason for being. And all this then allows you to see into the unknown and beyond, to embrace the unknown, because sometimes the known is right there. It's like, oh yeah, of course. But the unknown, sometimes we have to surrender to it and embrace it, because sometimes it's out of our bandwidth. So, yeah, during your day, I want you to embrace you as seer and knower. This is a great empowerment for us. Just to go, okay, we're going to take this on. We're going to take on the mantle, the mantle of acknowledging the truth of seeing and knowing. And in moments of doubt, this is where you part the curtain and you drop into this and you pause. You've got to pause. Unless things are, knocking on the door, trying to come through, and you say, what? And it hits you, great. But sometimes you just have to pause to get there. So we want then your perpetual modality to become the 5D quantum mind. You is everywhere and therefore can perceive, see, know everything. Now, I also assume there is a soul wisdom that says, and actually my meditation teacher said this. He goes, if you could get enlightened all in one moment or know everything all in one moment, he goes, you would probably explode. It's just the way we've been conditioned, the way we still see, four square around us. So we're letting this in module by module so that we are shifting moment by moment, especially as this information really becomes known to us, and we participate in it together. I mean, I could write a book, you could read this. I don't sense it would be the same. It's we are creating a field. We are living in the field. We are living the field. We are evolving the field. And as we participate in this field that we've been nurturing for this, these many, 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 many modules of moments, we are enriched as we enrich each other in our ability to evolve much quicker, much more quickly. So again, then it comes back to, I'm going to say this probably, to myself several times today, surrender the ego mind to the 5D quantum mind, seer knower. Okay. And so again, I want you to practice with me. We're going to take a moment. You're going to pause the ego mind with the breath. Silence the mind and affirm, as quantum mind, I see all. I know all. And I am all. That's one's the most important one. I am all. Because that's your alignment with the oneness, the known, the unknown, the unknowable, the seeing and the knowing. That's the all. And so now we kind of log on to quantum mind, to this possibility becoming a probability. This is again physics. So there's infinite possibility in every moment that is going to evolve, that is going to blink through. But in our consciousness, there's one probability of observation. So that means that we have to practice this. Yes, that's right. I'm a quantum mind. Now what? And that now what thing that you could add to it is that. Okay, so there's a now what in 3D, and there's a now what in 5D. What is my next moment to achieve the expression of my ascension into continual quantum mind? And then allow that to come through your consciousness. And then you're going to open your schedule book and you're going to offer it to quantum mind and your ascension pathway. And you're like, okay, here you go. It's open. I surrender. Let's do it. And then there's a little bit of lightheartedness to that. Obviously I want you to have some joy in this, some like, wonderment, like, oh my gosh, the most amazing thing happened. And sometimes, here's what I'm thinking. I think this is astrological as well as what we've been Well, at our WeSock, you're saying, look, you've got to maybe do a descension into 3D and get, the dregs out. To do that, stuff has to happen at you. And then you have to go, oh my gosh, I still have ego mind in relationship to this. Oh no. Okay, well, I'm going to observe that. I'm going to observe that over the next period of moments and see how I can loosen up my consciousness. And oh, wait, I need help here. So no. Oh, that comes from my childhood. Oh, okay. And I'm going to call in my 5D self. Don't forget to breathe and pause. Okay, that's right. Mm. Oh, right. I just need to say love, 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 love. That spiritual hack. Well, I'm probably going to have to use it a million more times, but it works every time. Okay, so these are, and if you're wondering what a spiritual hack is, I am writing the book. I am very dedicated, but we've got some of those spiritual hacks in 2024 that are offered. Go watch the videos, get some ideas, because they really help get you through the moment with ease and grace. Okay, now there's one more piece of this. How to better shift to quantum mind. Well, it helps to surrender and to disengage from attachment. And we get attached to things and things being a certain way. And we get attached to people. Why didn't they call me? We get attached to time. I've got to have everything arranged perfectly, according to my. We get attached to space. We get attached to even the moment. So disengaging from attachment is something to watch for. And sometimes your attachment will pull at you. It could pull at your, it could just be like a little knife in your heart. It could pull at your solar plexus, or it could rise up from your first and second chakra. I've got to have that. I got to have that person. I've got to. And we just observe it. Again, we come back to the big O. Surrender, disengage from attachment by observing when it shows up. And there's a feeling that goes along with it. There's a kind of a little gutty feeling, or a little like, or a little pull. So just begin to be aware of those things. And what will happen is those things will now be in contrast to feeling relatively amazing other moments of the day. Like you go, yeah, this is starting to feel like me. Now, those things like my doggy, you can still love them, but you watch to see if you're attached to how they behave, attached to they give you enough love or attention, whatever. You can love all those beautiful beings in your life, but you'll see that little pull or that little hurt feeling. I'm going to call it an ego bruise, or you'll feel like time is running away from you. And you just, again, come back to observe it and go, okay. And then you shift to now with a smile on your face. Now, when you have those moments where you're really present and you're sitting or reclining, expand your presence and observe the all, and then open to the all coming to you. And you expanding into the all, and the all, and just permeating every aspect of your being. And affirm, I am one. And allow oneness to permeate those things which you call particles, accumulation of particles. Yes. what a mystery it all is. It's just a gorgeous mystery. It blows me away. For those moments that you engage in non-attachment, expand to quantum mind, you're helping to dissolve space-time because you are self as knowingness in those moments. Okay, so as quantum mind, collective quantum mind, we'll call that. That's part of one of our jobs, to be collective quantum mind. Let's see, perceive, and be the spiral of ascension now. And let's tune into our seership and our knowership, tune into those and see if there's things that we get either for the moments ahead or for what's ahead. You know, there's some drum beats out there that I'm not particularly wanting to hear, you know. And I'm saying I think we will be participating in putting other things, and let's do that now. Let's participate in putting possibly a peaceful vibe out there, like calm down, everybody, stop for a moment, consider the ramifications of all your ego-based decisions. Stop. And then let us come in with some other possibilities that are more cogent and more humanitarian probabilities. Okay, so we're going to just finish up here with a little meditation and see what our collective quantum mind has for us. And love, 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 love. And find your levity. Discover your expansion. And realize yourself as seer knower. Okay, so I'm getting direction here for us. There's a dark kind of in the planetary consciousness in what I call 3.5. It's kind of where controller base operates out of. And I see kind of a dark, I'm going to call it a dark spot, but it's like a almost like a it's almost like a black hole or a vacuum or a cave. It's like pulling energy, it's pulling light away from the situation and creating reaction. And we're going to observe this and say, I see you. And you do not belong. You do not belong here. You do not belong. And we're going to spiral clockwise. You can do that with your hand if you'd like. Here's what I'm going to say to this presence. You are no longer needed here. Your job is done. Whatever that was, you are no longer needed here. And we are collectively dispersing your presumed ties to operating in this planetary system. And we are spinning, 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 spiral, evolution, frequency base into this illusion. And whatever frequency base or being is creating this disturbance, we free you now. We free you now. We free you now. We free you from this formatting. Disperse, disperse, disperse. And down in its place, we contribute. I am love. I am peace. This is our mantra for the planet. I am freedom for humanity. I am one. And we free the limitation imposed here in the dividing to conquer. I am love, I am peace, I am freedom, and I am one. And we will continue to hold this declaration for Tar Earth, New Earth. And allow reality to unwind and rewind as this new manifestation, this new possibility turning into probability. And we say it is so with our magic. Yo. Mm. Mm. Right, gentle beings, choose a moment. Open your eyes. I think we're going to be talking about parallel universes and probability and possibility next week. And know that you're already living it. You're already living it. Just consider the possibility and watch your thoughts. Watch your thoughts and your intentions. Watch your thoughts. Watch your thoughts, because quantum mind has been activated. Past, present, and future are right here, right now. So watch your thoughts. Beautiful things. Namaste.